Everyone grifts to the right because they are the easiest marks to grift to. They don't even care about consistency, just pure rage all the time. Grums, what did they do to Tomb Raider? Apparently, this is a leaked screenshot of the Tomb Raider game. They're going to show the Game Awards tomorrow. Allegedly, it's a remake of the first game, okay? What a difference one day makes. I can't believe wokies are mad they made Lara Croft look feminine with eyelashes and makeup. They really did want to make her AAA ugly. It's like none of these things happened. You got mad about it, and then you got horny about it, and there was no moment where people were like, oh, I can't believe Lara Croft is not. Like, there was never like a big initiative from whatever, you know, the left that places this much emphasis on the tit size of Lara Croft. And it's crazy because not only is this obviously purely bad faith, right? It's so clearly bait faith. There is a market for it. That is what I cannot comprehend. There is a legitimate market for it where they're just like, no, please give me more rage bait slop, please. I need more rage bait. I need to imagine. I cannot enjoy anything unless I think that there is a libtard out there that I'm owning, okay? A libtard out there that is outraged. I'm sorry, but who is this dumb a breast milk enjoyer, Mr. Milkman? Dude, I don't even know where to begin. If I were to explain to you what this dude's background is, you would probably end it all just by finding out that a human being like this exists. You'd be like, this is crazy. He's like a sommelier, but for breast milk. Exactly. It's the weirdest psychosexual energy on the planet condensed into a Twitter profile. Yeah, they also just like, he's 60 plus years old. Okay. That's number one. And he's so bald that even his like profile picture that is a drawn version of him is still also bald. What these guys have is no joy in their lives. And it's also strange because they're like remarkably horny and they almost use like how horny they are as like a tool. Like their organizing principle is just like owning some made up version of the left or libtards or whatever. They have designed a society around libtards constantly dominating them. There's so much perceived victimhood here, but the victimhood is not on, their wages. Like there's the victimhood that they experience, they perceive, that they consistently complain about is never about the material and totally about like whatever cultural thing that they're consuming. It's basically the most annoying, a significantly more annoying version of 2016 era radlib where people would be like, my favorite TV show, it doesn't have enough representational politics or something. And even at that point, like all those people that were hysterical were oftentimes not 60 years old. And they were oftentimes just like young liberals who could not figure out what to organize around. And instead, they just like hyper focused on areas where they seemingly could make minor changes without recognizing their powerlessness against the unshakable structural hurdles that they wanted to actually clear, that they wanted to actually abolish. And at the end of the day, this is an even more annoying version of that. But it turns out that these guys, one, will never grow out of it because he's done all the growing he possibly could. And there is an incredible market for it. And that's what's so shocking to me, that there is a consistent demand. At no point do the people that are tuning into this kind of stuff, tuning into Asmongold, tuning into Grums, go, okay, man, enough. Like, I like this game. Let me just enjoy this game. You know what I mean? I feel like you're greatly overemphasizing how much woke has ruined this game. For many of these people also, they don't realize that it is actually mergers and acquisitions and the profit incentive that has absolutely destroyed. And even though there are still plenty of amazing examples of art being made in the gaming sphere, this is now a trillion-dollar industry with multiple multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that have basically sucked up every other developer and publisher. And with this level of tremendous horizontal and vertical integration, they're simply churning out AAA slop over and over again. So it's actually not the wokeification of video games that's ruined gaming. It's actually capitalism that's ruined gaming. And they just so desperately, as though they have any sort of ownership stake, as though they are small business owners or capitalists themselves, as though they have a deed to a factory or a major developer, as though they sit on the board of a major developer, will unironically ride for capitalism while simultaneously trying to desperately shift people's priorities and attentions away from the real reason why video games are seemingly worse all the time and back to woke liberals ruining gaming. It's so weird. It's so strange. It's not the wokeification that has made everybody try to attempt and fail to make a live service shooter. Okay, it's not wokeification that has made people try to make a Fortnite copy. It's money. They want to put profit over any sort of attempt at making genre defining content or making content that actually appeals to people, making content that actually people can consume and enjoy. Having said that, however, all things considered, the video game industry, in spite of this rapid monopolization, is still capable of putting out incredible works of art. And it's ironic because these guys also realize that that is still happening. That's part of the reason why they actually enjoyed Expedition 33. However, they enjoyed Expedition 33 because it was very clearly a passion project, and those things still exist in the modern gaming industry, and yet they have to find a way to make it racist. Oh, I enjoyed Expedition 33 because it's all white. It's a white person game. And this is basically like the Radlib version of that, for the record. Congrats to the white person game. Like, this person is doing the Radlib version of that, and these guys don't even realize that they're doing the anti-Radlib version of that. The reactionary side of this coin is the exact same coin. The main three women are French, Italian, and Japanese. Game includes no black diversity whatsoever. Wins game of the year. 47,000 likes. Like, I don't understand how you live your life like this. I genuinely don't understand. You are a victim of your own mind prison that you have constructed for yourself, motivated purely by outrage baiting so you can get a crumb of clout that you can potentially monetize down the line with no guarantees of permanent monetization either. That everything that you see and analyze has to be from this framework. What a pathetic way to exist. It doesn't make any sense. And then they don't even realize why they can't enjoy things anymore, where they constantly, on the off days, will tweet about how devastatingly depressed they are and how much they want to kill themselves. Like, yeah, no wonder you want to kill yourself, dude. This is what you have become. You've become this machine that spits out talking points. You have no interest in just like taking a deep breath and consuming something for the sake of enjoyment. Everything has to be immediately propagandized. I mean, everything has to turn into a propaganda point. This is one of the major differences that I have with a lot of my counterparts on the left as well, for the record. Not everything has to be identified from the framework of cultural hegemony. Not everything has to be broken down into what kind of propaganda that people are trying to do. And one of the best examples that I will give you, of course, is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, a greatly enjoyable work, clearly a passion project of the dev team that, is led by somewhat of a reactionary guy, and yet it's still a banger video game, okay? So you can still enjoy things like that. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't actually... the enjoyment that you derive out of playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has nothing to do with your personal politics. I mean, the only reason that these people do it is, like you said, for money. People live lives, they don't get paid enough, and then they grift to make money. I know, but there's no guarantee. And at the end of the day, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the crumb of revenue that you may or may not generate off of consistently churning out this kind of idiotic propaganda worth destroying a part of your brain that allows you to enjoy things? Not to get all centrist Andy with you guys, but like, you should be able to enjoy. Okay? Don't make everything so political. I say this as someone who is capable of conducting analysis, and oftentimes I do conduct analysis on different works of art, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying said work of art. One of the examples I used was Pluribus. I like Vince Gilligan quite a bit. I think the art direction in Pluribus is incredible. I think it's a unique story. I like it, even though it potentially could be an anti-communist work. Not that it matters to me, okay? If you don't actually enjoy life, then it's not even worth living. These guys started off saying that video games were for escapism for themselves, and then they got so invested in the notion that it was being ruined, although they were simply just like aging out of enjoyment for certain kinds of video games, in my opinion, and desperately want to relive the days when they had dreams and not live in the days where those dreams were never going to be accomplished as adults. So they just make that toxicity and anger and resentment everybody else's problem by desperately trying to make everybody else just as upset as they are all the time. The most sensible thing I've ever heard you say is that some people just want to be and use wokeism and inclusion as a veil to enable their activities. Yes, people are narcissistic regardless of their personal ideology or worldview or whatever, and some people on the left do that as well. We like to call them wreckers in this community, or at least that's the socialist tradition. But yeah, that doesn't change the fact that they're narcissistic. They just try to mask that egocentric, narcissistic, me ass attitude by using the right kinds of the right words, right? They use emancipatory language to make it seem like they have a sincere disagreement, and they simply have constructive criticism to offer. A lot of these guys are doing that too. Anyway, at the end of the day, I have less smoke for this person saying congrats to the white person game lol versus this person that's saying basically the exact same thing but on the opposite side, saying yes, there are no black people in the game and that's why it's good, that's why it won. Because these are two of the people that are saying the same exact thing, just on opposing sides of the ideological spectrum. I still obviously consider white supremacy to be a far greater problem than a person that wants to implement some kind of white supremacist form of governance. But even then, it's still annoying. And no, the reason why I'm saying that is not because I'm coming at it from a place of privilege, okay? Although I do recognize that I have a place of privilege here. But the reason why the reason why I'm saying it's annoying is because just let people enjoy. Like, it doesn't have the game's major point has nothing to do with the racial dynamics at all. You are just simply slamming that into your commentary. Having an issue with Olivia's take here is wild, and I don't like it. Okay, I know. It's because I'm a racist. Chatter, how do you not understand? That's what it is. It's because I'm insensitive to the needs of my black chatters. Like, this is precisely what I was saying. Not every single person that is demonstrating the right kind of politics is making a reasonable criticism, okay? You don't have to automatically go, nope, that's right. Like, that's it. And then you don't have to immediately jump to all these other things. How is it annoying to want black people in a game? Black people want to see themselves in games, especially games that get rewarded. Oh my Lord. Oh. Is that what I said? Is that was your takeaway? Something I didn't say. Once again, I don't know if this is narcissism, or I don't know if it is specifically because you just, like, this is something that you have a personal problem with, that you've seen in many instances people just like immediately discard your opinions and immediately cast aside your needs, or immediately cast aside like whatever you find to be important. Okay? Not every video game is always going to have every single group represented all the time. And in many circumstances, it's not even going to be good representation regardless. It's all good. You know, it happens. So forcing black people in a game other than creating a game for black people is a difference. You have to choose logic over emotion. No, it's just like sometimes it happens. There are black people in Expedition 33, but not many of them, right? Like, I think like one of the main black characters, like, spoiler alert. Having said that, ultimately, people write what they know. And maybe in this circumstance, they didn't write any main characters that are black. I don't know what this does beyond just like, it's a video game. Like, if you want to enjoy it, you can enjoy it. If you can't enjoy it, you can't enjoy it. I don't know. Like, it's not that significant. It's not that consequential. The game in and of itself had like a white supremacist or anti-black message, then there's a different point of contention that could be addressed. But it has none of that. It's one of the issues that I have with this kind of stuff, because it's like representational politics purely for the point of representation and is just not, like, that is one of the tendencies that I think progressives in the Western world have that I find to be counterproductive in general. Diversity of opinion and diversity of background only matters as far as it's representing a different viewpoint. Simply putting representation there as a way to check off a box in and of itself is just not, like, it's never going to be productive. It's just aesthetic. It's just aesthetic diversity. And making demands such as that one is also somewhat silly. Where does it stop? Should we boycott games that doesn't have every single ethnic group represented? It's complete folly. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. Between Expedition 33, God of War 5, Cyberpunk, they were all so sad. I like the Dispatch, the fact that it brings inspirational characters back in. No, I know the person who tweeted this is racist. I'm criticizing this person. His name is Severus Chud. I'm saying that while I agree with the worldview of the person that says stuff like congrats to the white person game, which I don't even think is supposed to be that serious. I vehemently disagree with this person's worldview, but I'm saying that like this kind of analysis is two sides of the same coin. Like not every single work of art is going to represent every single aspect of diversity. You don't even know their worldview to disagree with it. You think I don't know the worldview of someone who says the main three women are French, Italian, and Japanese, game includes no black diversity whatsoever, wins game of the year, and is like celebrating it? No, I know exactly what this person's worldview is from this take alone. That's a dumbass racist who can only view the world from this framework. His name is Severus Chud. Sometimes you make a work of art with your own personal lived experience and the lived experience of others in your development team. Okay. And that development team might not have, that developer team might not have the diverse viewpoint that identifies your worldview, your lived experiences. But ultimately, as long as they're not, actively celebrating harmful ideas or actively promoting racist ideas and trying to propagandize like certain viewpoints or whatever, who gives a shit? The game is not about that at all. Also, he's like seemingly openly horny about a 16-year-old. This is when you basically are in that mind prison that I was talking about. This is a anti-woke gamer, Chapo Trap House's favorite content creator. I forget her name, but she like routinely says slurs and stuff, and her heart is not really in it. When you hear her say the slurs, you can kind of tell like it's not authentic. It's not organic. She hasn't done the work prior to like consistently add it to her lexicon off camera. And she, I think, consumes entirely butter or something. I don't know. That's what I've heard. She used to be a liberal e-girl and then decided she will, she can make more money being a racist right-wing e-girl, and now has the best fandom, in my opinion, out of anybody. But here she is, not allowed to enjoy Tomb Raider because the market demands that she does not enjoy it because Tomb Raider is woke now and not sexy enough. Look at her looking at chat for validation.
That's where you're wrong. I'm just getting started.
For your information, Asmund thought the new Tomb Raider model was hot. Yeah, no, that's why it's allowed now. That's why Grums also said, but this is before they got their talking points, okay? This is when every single person is basically looking at their chat to see how they must react to the new Tomb Raider, right? They can't just be like, hey, I really like this, okay? It has to be backed up by their communities. It is the most insane way to live. Like, what will my Reddit say? What will my Reddit community say about this thing? If all you care about is approval and acceptance, then that's what you have to do. I wish that you did that with us. No, I never do that, which is why I constantly find myself yelling at all of you wokesters in the chat. That's why it's always funny when these dumb claim that I am audience captured when I spend a good deal of time yelling at the exact same audience. When people say I'm audience captured, they are actually telling on themselves.
That's it? Like, that's
As
all?
I looked out at an ancient world reawakening, my mind traveled back to where this story began.
Disapproving this game because of its target audience is literally the epitome of virtue signaling. Well, it's vice signaling, right? That's what it is.
New discoveries waiting behind every door. Across every chasm.
Boo, I hate this. Right? Am I doing it right?
I didn't know then the path this adventure would send me on. but it lit a fire that still burns. I need to see more. I need to go further. To uncover the secrets of Atlantis.
Can't she react harder? No, she can't. She's waiting for chat to download her talking points. By the way, this market could be totally satisfied, totally satiated by a chatbot, okay? Because what these streamers are doing, and yes, this includes Asmongold as well, is the exact same thing as Chud GPT, okay? Wow, you have an excellent opinion, and I totally agree with it. Like, that's what they want. This is an entire community that revolves around, like, basically hearing exactly how they believe, okay? Exactly how they see the world. They want someone to just say it back to them. And it's ironic because people will often tell me that I'm doing that. Meanwhile, let's be real, not a lot of people, especially in the United States of America, have the worldview that we have here in this community. And many of you did not actually arrive at this worldview when you first came in here. And there were probably one or two, if not hundreds of different areas where you were in utter disagreement with me. And over time, maybe you began to understand what I was saying. And even then, I don't expect you to agree with everything that I believe and everything that I say.
Some legends are destined to be retold.
Oh, she hates it. I normally expect goalposts on Tomb Raider to be moved by people like Melanie Mac. As expected, the goalposts have moved. Is she hot? Is she not hot? Is she hot enough? Will the communities realize that she's hot? Will my subreddit say she's sexy? If they do, then I'll say she's sexy. They do this so many times too. And I don't know how many times it'll take for like some people to basically move on this where they realize like, oh, okay, these guys that I'm getting my takes from are maybe not all there, or maybe just like simply farming outrage. How many video games, how many TV shows, whether about video games or not, have these guys actually consistently said suck because it's woke, only to have said video game or TV series actually bang on arrival, and then they have to turn around and be like, oh, it's good because it's anti-woke. Perhaps that had nothing to do with it. I like to call this the BG3 phenomena. It's gay and woke, and that's why it sucks, except everybody liked BG3. Baldur's Gate 3 was a banger. It's actually not gay and not woke, even though it's literally the gayest and wokest game of all. Perhaps gayness and wokeness has nothing to do with whether or not you can enjoy a game. Yeah, Ghost of Yote outsold Stellar Blade in months on a single platform. I fully believe the Gooners turn people off the game, and it's actually pretty fun. No, Ghost of Yote. Most people don't make these decisions. That's what I'm saying. The market for commentary around the gaming sphere is entirely dominated by some of the worst neck-bearded, mouth-breathing losers. But the gaming sphere, like the consumer base, does not give a shit about that at all. They just want to play a good game. What is this bullshit? What is this self-flagellation where you just like have to analyze everything on woke metrics? It's so stupid. We just don't like the fact that Laura is still a white girl. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I refuse to believe that this is a real person, okay? The type of person that says like, no, I'm the singular person that demands that Laura Croft now be, I don't know, a different race or something, or a different ethnicity. Because like, you want to know why I know that's not a real person? Because those games do exist and nobody plays them. Like sometimes companies love juggling IP, okay? They love thinking that there is a new market out there when you just like, I don't know, make Ghostbusters 2 with women only, okay? And then nobody ends up watching it. Nobody likes it. Nobody gives a shit about it. Like that's it. They do that thinking that there is like a real market for this. Just make a good game. I don't give a shit what the background of the main character is at all. There's never been a moment in my life where I'm like, wow, the main character is a black woman. This is really taking me out, you know? It's insane. The other thing is video games are mostly made by woke ass devs of a super diverse background. Even games that you would consider to be like non-woke, with the exception of like Minecraft, I guess. Notch is a reactionary. And it, like, even when we talk about like Kingdom Come Deliverance, you think that entire developer team is also as invested in like anti-woke narratives as like the main guy? I don't think so. But my question is, why do they keep saying we're trying to take away the sexy ladies? I don't know. I think like maybe with advanced graphics and a lack of interest in like pursuing an artistic vision, a lot of developers rely on hyper realism, and hyper realistic characters are oftentimes not as like sexy as the drawn figures and the animated figures that you normally see. And that is what people really get pissed off about, where they're like, I can't crank it. This is a real conspiracy to make me not be able to jerk off to this video game because the main character is not up to my standards. And I say, you're a fake gooner. When people tell me like that, I think you're a fake gooner. You're not a real one. A real gooner can goon to anything. Okay? You're a phony. You're not real. You're not invested in the cause. You're not a real gooner. You're not a day one gooner. Skill issue all the way. Okay? Yeah, real gooners, especially old gooners. No, old gooners had to goon to the Sears catalog. And you're out here complaining that the main character of Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't look like a Kardashian. Skill issue. Skill issue is crazy. That's how I feel.